Welcome to Recovery Unleashed, the podcast where we dive deep into transformation, healing, high performance, and recovery. I'm your host, Hannah Dalby. I'm the founder of Recovery Jungle, Recovery Unleashed. I'm an integral alchemist, food coach, a recovery expert, and also a retired professional Muay Thai fighter and current jiu-jitsu lover. In each episode, we explore what it truly takes to break free from addiction, trauma, self-sabotage, and unlocking a life truly filled with energy, success, and peace. Through my very own story of addiction recovery and raw conversations with experts, coaches, athletes, healers, we uncover the tools and mindset shifts needed to master recovery in every area of your life. This isn't just about healing, this is about unleashing your full potential. If you're ready to reclaim your life, tune in, do the work, and let's rise together.
Gentlemen, welcome back to the Men's Collective podcast.
And the Recovery Unleashed podcast.
That is right. Hannah, welcome.
And welcome to you.
How do we do the welcome on this one? We're collabing and here we are.
Yes. Well, I think this has come from many a conversation in the side alley on the way out of...
Do we call it a side? There's a bit of an alley, isn't it?
There's a bit of a side alley out there.
Bit of a hallway.
Bit of a hallway.
But this is definitely picking up from many conversations that you and I have had.
Yeah.
Leading to this, obviously, collab with the podcast because... like we've said many times, we are so on point on so many things. And then recently we've seen a few things where we're like, a bit different. But I'm sure, and you could say the same thing, we can appreciate where we're both coming from and probably add a lot of value to where you're going with you guys, where we're going with our guys. And
well, I think also just understanding the perspectives that minds are in, right? It's like what is actually happening in people's minds and how are they seeing things? Because that's really important to know because it is collective, right? And
a lot of the time we try to guess.
Yeah,
and that's the problem.
Yeah,
if you've been a part of, we say it all the time, to take a page out of somebody else's book, someone that's been there, done that, experienced it, lived experience. You can't buy that.
Yeah,
you can hear from it and learn from it, but you can't buy it. Like you have to take you literally put into a position where you have to take that advice from someone who's been there, done that. Doesn't mean the experience is the same for everybody, but definitely. So where do we start? Where do we take this? This is good.
There was a statement that I found when I was thinking about this because the conversation that we left on the other day was this. I remember the last bit I was saying was like, no, Wayne, the reason that women do that is because they can't actually receive. I don't remember what you said, but that's where I was like, no, that's what it is. And so when I was sitting down thinking about this, the two statements that I came up with were, a woman can only receive to the level that her nervous system feels safe, and a man can only lead to the level that he has grown up.
Let's approach that in two parts.
Okay.
Let's start with the first part. I
Okay.
definitely want to go deeper with that one.
Okay. So women think that men aren't providing, and that's true. Would you feel like in your work that men are going, well, they just think that we can't do enough or provide enough? Or
let's start providing for all. I'll tell you why we aim to provide. One of the things that we say all the time in our podcast is that you can wrap up a man in three things: protect, provide, and lead. It's just ingrained into us. It's what we desire to do. It's what we want to do. It's where we find, I won't use the word safe for men, but I find that's where men feel strong. Men feel respected when we're allowed, because I would say that you could probably wrap up masculinity in those three things: protect, provide, and lead. And so when one of those things gets questioned, one of those things gets challenged, one of those things gets taken away, we are instantly emasculated. Yeah. Now, a lot of the time we try to believe that it's not intentional. But a lot of the time it's not intentional. The women in our lives do love us. We have people around us, our wives and partners and things like that. So when we do get that feeling of feeling emasculated, it's because one of those three things has taken away. So when you look at, was your first one talking about protect? Is that no, provide? Was it?
Yeah.
Sorry. So when it comes to provide, we want to provide, and in our heads, we think that the financial side is 90% of it. And to the point where we go, well, I'm giving you everything you want. Look what I've done for you. Because naturally, because we are built to work, we feel that the provision comes financially. And some part of us goes, well, you should be happy. Look what I've given you. Look what I've bought you. Look what you have. You have the house. You have the car. You have this. That in itself, though, because I can see you nodding and smiling, that's a danger. And we've started to, this last generation, pick up that it isn't enough. The reason we've started to pick it up, I believe, is because we've come from a generation of fathers where, see, my dad took every shift available. My dad was a shift worker. He was part of the corrective services. Anytime there was overtime, anytime there was a weekend job, he took it. In his head, that was providing. Okay, that's providing one part of it. That's providing the financial side. It's paying the mortgage, it's putting food on the table. I get it. What was it lacking though when it comes to provision? Well, time, presence.
Containment.
Yeah, absolutely. So when those things aren't there, we on the receiving end of the provider are the ones that actually this raises a good question. When it comes to providing, is it the receiver that judges really if the person's providing or not?
So there's like an hour of things that I could say about everything that you've just said.
We've got two. We've got 2 hours.
Okay, so that question there of like, is it the receiver that can't? Is that what you said?
Well, is it up to the receiver? Because on our point of view, if we believe we're providing, if we believe it, then we stop there. Well, we're providing. You should be happy.
Okay, so there's a lot in this, right? Like if a man is getting triggered by a woman saying this is not enough and she's being in her emotions about that, like what part of him doesn't feel worthy, doesn't feel like he's good enough, like is questioning his own leadership, is questioning his own provision, is questioning his own direction and purpose. Does he even have those things? And so I see this happen when if a man is questioned on those things and then kind of gets reactive and like, well, when I give you all of these, I give you everything. I buy the house, I buy the things, I'm endless, and you want more and you want more and you want more. Like that is a little boy coming out getting a bit mad. The other side of that, there's another part of this, but there's another side of that where feminine desire will never end. It will never end. You give her the world, she wants more. That is the innate feminine quality, is to just keep desiring and desiring and desiring. And there's a beauty in that because that desire opens up the capacity for the man to create more and to create more and to create more.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? So there's nothing wrong with that desire. It's on a man to say, here's the line, like, no, you can't have that. And I'm okay with what I've done and I'm solid in myself and I have my self-worth and I know my direction, I know my purpose, and this is what I can provide right now. The desire can be endless. If that is triggering and getting reactive and making that her fault, or now I don't feel good enough and now I'm going to shut down and just do nothing, I'm not going to even try, that's on him. That's the little boy that needs to be healed.
Okay, so when we talk of providing, right, do you think then it comes down, is it measurable to the amount she's received or to the extent of him living in his capacity?
Both. So because the other part of this is, can she actually receive it all? Because if a woman's nervous system has never felt safe to receive because of in childhood it was conditional, or there was abuse linked to it, or it was always taken away in some way, or it was whatever was attached to it, and it's never actually been safe to receive, everything can be thrown at her. And so it's like this. It can be happening, and then she can't actually take it into her heart. And so then there's no reciprocation and there's no appreciation, and he feels that.
When you say safe,
yes,
what do you mean by safe? Because when a man hears safe, we think our protection mode kicks in, or hasn't kicked in if you're not feeling safe. So when you say a woman feels safe, you're not just talking about the physicalities of her being protected, just physical. You're thinking safe in regards to boundaries, in what emotion?
Emotional safety, right? So, and it's not that the situation right now isn't safe. It's not like, well, I'm not going to hit you, I'm not going to yell at you. It's the nervous system knowing that it can actually let go and surrender to this provision, to this protection, and actually take it into her heart. So the nervous system is on alert and in fight or flight. And the provision and the protection can actually trigger that nervous system to panic because it's never known what it's like to be protected or provided for. So it's like, this is new and dangerous. Or the last time I had this show up like this, it turned into something really negative, or it was taken away, or it was conditional and I wasn't allowed to be who I was, or I was pushed into a little box, or whatever situation happened. So the nervous system just goes like, oh, this is danger. So when I'm talking to women inside of this, it's like, is this man not good for you? Or are you just throwing up all of your walls because you've never experienced safety before? You've never experienced what it's like to be provided for. And I know this firsthand. Like when Deegan walked into my life, I was like, oh, hell no. Like he was just disarming me, providing, protecting, being really calm and grounded. And I was like, what is this bullshit? Like, get away from me.
Can I say something like that,
Yeah.
though? Do you think that, it's going to sound like a bad question, so don't take it the wrong way. How old were you when you were single when you met Deegan?
A year ago.
Yeah, so how old were you then?
33.
Okay, do you think you've been alive now for 33 years, that you've created your own habits, you've created your own life that you've built, that you're working towards? Because one of the dangers we have as men in today's society is that women have been, and I'm trying to say this, but it's just going to sound offensive, but it's just the truth. Women have been taught and pushed that you don't need us. You don't need no man. We hear that, right?
Yeah.
And deep down we go, yes, you do. But then we see you live a certain way. And what that certain way is, you guys are career driven. Mm-hmm. You guys have, your own leadership skills now. You guys stand up for yourself. Great things. These aren't bad things. So hear me right. But when you start taking those masculine attributes away from us, we do question, do you really need us? And I think this is one of the biggest dangers. This is why I don't like the hookup culture. You got this hookup culture now with, dating apps, which are so fastly available, readily available to give you the prize before the journey, right? You as a man, you think you're getting this free gift of sex, right? But what men are failing to see is that they might be getting that from a woman and, oh, wow, I just scored a one-night stand or whatever it is. But in reality, to us, what men are failing to see is that what if that's the other part of a woman that's doing everything for herself. She's looking after herself. She's paying for herself. She's leading herself. She's got a job. And the only thing she needs a man for is that once a week, once a month, whenever she feels like she just needs to swipe right, and all of a sudden the man ticks that box for her. So all of a sudden we've got this generation now as men where we're going, not only have we come from a generation of, fathers not being as present as what they are, we're learning to now try to give presents. But not only that, the provision, we're trying to give these things that society has taught you don't need.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
So how would you say then a woman could even receive it? Does it push back on the man to give it differently, or for a woman to receive?
Both things. So, it's not a bad thing we've learned how to make money. It's
agreed,
right?
Yeah,
it's not a bad thing we've learned how to, and there's other things that provision is. And I was having this struggle this particular week, right? It's as much as I've done so much work on being able to open to receive what Deegan rocks up with, the levels are getting bigger. And it's can I receive more? Can I receive more? Can I receive more? Do I want to go make a multi-gazillion-dollar company, or do I want to sit around and get a suntan and just get taken care of?
Oh, suntan sounds good. I'm in for the suntan.
Right? And it's this tension of being taken care of and receiving and creating something that I feel was kind of given to me as a purpose. And so it's well, what other provision is there? And it's well, can you provide emotional containment? Can you keep me emotionally safe? Can you take care of the household things so I can just go and create from a place of safety rather than survival?
Okay, so emotionally safe. You say, as a man, we need to make you emotionally safe. Why is it our responsibility to keep your emotions in check?
Because we require co-regulation.
Okay, let's talk about
co-regulation. Biologically, women require co-regulation. So I think this is yes, it can happen with other people, but for our nervous systems to regulate, we require other nervous systems to regulate with. Right? So, and that can be a circle of women. That can be the dog,
Yep.
With women that are highly career driven and, swiping their apps, it's probably their dog. Because they haven't learned to receive that co-regulation. They haven't learned to receive that protection, that providership. So we require co-regulation. And I have a FIFO partner. So I am in and out of co-regulate, and it's it's hard because I'm I can just relax, and and then it's he goes to work and I'm holy shit, I've got to hold it all again. And it's hard because my system requires co-regulation. And when you have So someone's got to be in the masculine and someone's got to be in the feminine. And that can, change inside of the relationship at certain times for whatever is required. But for the most part, you're going to make a decision and someone's going to be in the masculine most of the time and someone's going to be in the feminine most of the time. And most of the time, that's going to be a man and a woman that's doing that. And the masculine, some of that protection is protection from himself and providing containment, which is, can I stay grounded? Can I stay present? Can I notice my own emotions and sit with them and be with them and respond in a grounded way and then go and deal with my shit after? And so there is containment for the chaos of the femininity.
Interesting. On the decision making thing, right? Going back to you said, someone needs to make a decision, right? So whether masculine and feminine get a bit of balance. I've had Lisa say to me time and time again, as simple as when it comes down to, we're going to go for dinner. Okay, where do you want to go? And, I see funny memes about it all the time. You see, that kind of stuff. And whether it's that or whether it's something else, but when there's a decision that needs to be made, I've had Lisa in the past quite often say, look, can you just make a decision?
Yeah.
Right? And this is where a lot of men fall into, I'm not going to say in a it's like a fault of any way, but the reason a lot of men hold back from making the decision is because we want the decision to be the right one. And it's not that we doubt ourselves. It's that we want the decision to benefit you as much as it possibly can, because we feel as men that that's what we're working towards. That's what we're working for. We want you to be provided for, protected, loved, and to receive. So when it comes to decision making, deep down, we want to make the decision, but we're afraid, wrong word. We don't want the decision to be less receptive on your end. So when it comes down to, can you just make a decision? We want to, but we're like, can you just decide, because we want you to choose.
That's a fear response. It is a fear response.
From our perspective.
Yeah.
We're afraid of the aftermath.
Okay. So
not in a fear way, but we are.
But deep down.
Yeah, but not in a fear of, I'm afraid. Sadly, it's this. It's the old, happy wife, happy life, which I hate, because I don't think men should be making decisions to appease to emotion. We want you to be happy and loved and, again, protected and provided for. And this is why we go out and we push ourselves to our absolute extent and to our full capabilities and to where we can get. But the receptivity on that, we need to see if it's working.
Okay, so there's two parts. There is two parts to this. And so this is always the work of both people. Because and there's parts that a woman needs to lead and there's parts that a man needs to lead inside of this. If you're afraid of making a decision because she might be upset about it, that is people-pleasing behavior coming from a fear response, coming from a fear
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
What are you trying to do there?
Okay,
please her.
Please her, yeah. But not out of a fear of, it's okay, let's just stick with the dinner thing for a while.
Yeah.
Hey, babe, we've got nothing ready for tonight. You want to go for dinner? Yeah, cool. Where do you want to go? And then me, okay, look, wherever you want to go. Because deep down, we're honestly saying, wherever you want to go, babe, because I've gone to work, I've worked hard, I can turn around and I want to provide, you choose. And it's like, I don't care. Let's just go, no, you pick. And it turns into, no, don't make me pick, because I want you to pick, because I have gone out, I have worked.
Can you see what she's asking for?
Yeah, well, you tell me. What's she asking for?
For you to just make a decision.
Yeah.
Because if you have, this is the other thing, right? Like you have women that are running your business for you and holding up the household and doing the family and doing the things, and they're like holding. So fuck the dinner and the decision. You decide. If I don't like the decision, I'll say something. Okay,
so again, not to try to use the word afraid, but let's use it because it makes sense in this scenario. We're afraid of, okay, well, let's just go to the tavern. And then nothing gets said. We go to the tavern, we come home, and the car trip is, next time we'll try that Chinese place, because I really wanted to try there. And we go, well, why didn't you say that when I asked you before?
Is she upset?
I don't know. It's never really happened.
Right, because she's happy for you to just make the decision.
Yeah, I get that.
Right, and if she can't speak up and say, I don't like that, I don't want to go there, that's on her for not being able to ask for what she needs. Because part of receiving is to be able to ask for what you want and ask for what you need. Okay,
that's where I wanted to go with it.
Yes.
I'm not putting this back on the woman at all.
But it's both sides.
Okay, so why, when we do that, why is it that we feel that women are indecisive when we're giving you not so much leaving the choice up to you, but we want you to have what we're putting out on offer. Now, if we're going out for dinner and any restaurant is available, we want you to choose because we feel if you've chosen it, wow, I got to take my wife to the place she wanted. So when we get back I don't care.
But you're not listening to what she's asking for. If she knew what she wanted, she would ask for it. What she's asking for is for you to make the decision. So you want to please her, and what she has asked for is for a decision to be made, so she doesn't have to.
You don't think it comes down to the woman not being receptive? Would it ever cross the wife's mind to go, oh my God, like he's actually allowing me to pick? Okay, well, I hadn't thought about this, but there is that restaurant I want to try. You don't think it comes down to the woman not being receptive of...
If she can trust that you will provide for her when she asks for what she wants and what she needs, she will speak up and ask for it. If her request is to not make the decision, your job is to make the decision.
Okay. I like this is going, right? So what you just said then, you just said, if she's feeling safe enough. Okay. How do we break down that barrier that taps into that little vulnerable state where these women live of where they're finding safety? Because if they're within that and that walls are up, how do we break through those? Because it feels as if sometimes if you aren't receptive, it does make sense that it's because they're not feeling safe. Why don't women feel safe? What do you think the number one thing is? You've been married 20 years, like for me, I've been married 25 years. If I'm ever in a situation where I feel Lisa has that wall up, part of me would go, I'm just trying to think of a scenario, I can't think of anything where it's happened, but part of me would go, well, why after all these years have you not felt safe? Like, are you not feeling safe now? Have I built that up gradually to build a wall?
She may have started with it.
You
she may have always had that. And it's like when if her nervous system is, like let's say she helps run the business. She runs a lot of it, right?
Yep. And
she's been doing that all day. And what she actually needs is to just completely let go. And you're like asking her to make the decision. And she just shuts down because she can't do another thing. She wants to be held and to be seen and to just completely let go and for you to start taking leadership. Like there's a transition, like going from I'm holding everything to I can now rest into surrender and receivership. There is a transition that needs to happen and someone needs to take the leadership role.
Because in a situation like that, because the whole dinner thing happens to us quite a lot. We eat out at least probably once a week, sometimes twice. And it does come to that. And it's because I do walk, because, you've seen my office. It's here. My office is down the bottom of the hill. Lisa's office is up in the top. So at the end of the day, when our lives meet again, we're like, hey, how you going? Yeah, good to see you. I haven't seen you all day because I'm in my office, she's in hers. I'll walk in and there will be more often than not, she'll still work for an hour, maybe 2 hours after I finish. So I'll come up and she'll keep working. And I can see the stresses. I can see the exhaustion. I can see all that. So when she's done, she's like, oh, my God, I haven't even got anything ready for dinner. Okay, well, where would you want to go? So when we're asking
so to change this, I challenge you to go into next week when she does this, and when she does that, you go to your room, get a dress of this kind, I'm taking you here.
I do that a lot.
Right? Does she argue about it?
No.
Right?
But my question, though, is why can't, if we're putting the smorgasbord of choice on the table.
It's too much. It's too much. It's another thing to decide on. It's another decision. It's another thing to lead.
Yeah, women and emotions, man, I tell you. Because men want to give you the best that we can. So when we see that exhaustion, that burnout, that we're going, honey, you pick wherever you want to go. I'm going to take you there.
Do you know what I do on Sunday? Do you know what our agreement is on Sunday? I don't make a single decision. Not one.
Not one?
Not a single decision.
Get up, you're wearing this, you're making me breakfast. Okay. I'm going to message Deegan. Is this true? I think I'm hearing lies here. No. Explain the Sunday.
So we get up, we don't have any water or coffees. We go to the recovery jungle so we can do our in-body scans fasted. We take our coffees. We have our coffee and a cigar on the balcony.
Cigar? In the morning. Sunday morning cigar.
Sunday morning cigar.
Gosh.
And it's generally when we have a lot of our hard conversations, actually. We'll sit on the balcony for an hour or two. The week has been hard. All the emotions come up, especially if the scan's not good.
One at a time. What is this? I think that's what I said when I jumped on the scan at your place. Hey, one at a time, mate. There's only one of everybody. Just a big unit. We have Sunday mornings as our bit of a I wouldn't say downtime is the right word, but we have challenging conversations on a Sunday
Yeah.
night. We always do breakfast together, just Lisa
Yeah.
and I. We go somewhere.
Yeah.
And the hard topics come up.
Yeah.
But we also talk about things like holidays and stuff coming up. But that's a very deep conversation Sunday mornings.
Yeah. And so what you'll see inside of that is the work week is done. She can put all of that down and get back into her body and into her heart and into her feelings. And now she can speak what's actually happening inside of here. And also for you, probably, like the week is done and now it's like, okay, all of this has been playing on my mind is generally how it goes. And so now all of this stuff can actually surface. So you put all the things down, right? If I like don't go to work for the day and don't pick anything up, all the stuff comes up. It's like it gets suppressed by all the stuff that has to be done. So Sunday comes along and all of that. So we go to breakfast most Sundays as well. I don't decide a single thing if we're going to breakfast or not breakfast. He makes the decision based on my state. So the questions are like, how are you feeling right now? What is your state? What do you need? You know, like kind of gauging if going out is a good idea or staying home is a good idea.
Who came up with this idea? You did?
Yeah.
So you made the decision to allow him to make the decisions.
Yeah, right.
Look, I'll make a decision right here and right now that you make the decision. So is it really his decision then, or is it yours?
Well, it wasn't
doing
like
what you-
this is what it wasn't like this is what's happening. It was I asked, this is what I need, this is what I desire. Can you do that for me?
That opens up a whole new thing then. Do you think a lot of relationships lack that very question? This is what I desire.
Yeah.
So do I. One thing that Lisa and I are very, very good at and always have been good at is communicating. The deep conversations we have, the transparency, the vulnerability, the openness has always been, and enough that we've commented on it to each other. Like, you know, we've always been this way. Again, in holding this, in running Average Joes as a movement, the amount of men that I've dealt with, and in my days of pastoring, the amount of men that I've dealt with, and you hear snippets of their relationships, the lack of intimacy, the lack of communication, but just the lack of transparency. Like you get to the point where, even for myself, like and I've shared this story before, so it's going to be repetitive, but when I got engaged at 20. 2 weeks later, my parents then announced that they're going to split, right? Their reason being was that they had done their role, which in their head was to raise kids, not to be husband and wife. Their role was to raise kids, right? Which is wrong in every sense of the word, but I'll go into that later. But then they said that the fear entered their heads of, my sister just moved out. I'm now announcing an engagement, so I'm going to move out. And that they didn't know who each other were anymore. 25 years of marriage.
Yeah.
And you go, I get it. Lifestyles, relationships, work. There are so many tragedies. There are things that happen along this journey that you need your partner for. Or you can push the weight sometimes there, pull the weight towards you, which is one of the amazing benefits of having a relationship. But the danger of getting to the point where you go, I actually don't even know who you are anymore. That's a huge thing. You've got marriages out there that aren't even, well, when you look at, I actually had a conversation with someone during the week this week about marriage. He was talking, he's a big advocate. And look, I'm not going to say, I'm not going to hold a stance on this publicly on this podcast, but he's very, very big on marriage as a man and a woman. Okay. Now, me personally, I believe the same. I believe that marriage is a man and a woman. Reason I believe that is I'm a plumber by trade. Okay, been a plumber now for 26 or 27 years, I can't even remember. When I started my trade, there was we were taught on the how to weld metal together. If you take two pieces of the same metal and you weld it, it's called a fusion weld because you're fusing two similars, two sames, right? But if you took two different metals and you weld them together, the process is called marry. Because by definition, marry has to be the combination of two differents. It can't be too similar. So I had this conversation with a mate of mine this week. And he's like, I'd never heard that. I said, yeah, so for marriage to even be via correct wording, it has to right? But the reason I was going down this path, how many marriages out there aren't even connected anymore? They're roommates.
But so roommates happen because you've got two people in their masculine. So you want two different. It's actually less to do with gender and more to do with feminine and masculine energy. And whatever, whether it is right or wrong, or if it works or it doesn't work. You could have two women and one's massively, masculine and one's deeply, feminine. And that will probably marry because you've got two opposite, polarity. You've got polarity sitting there. You could have a man and a woman and they're both operating in their masculine, and then they become roommates because they're just out doing the things. There is no polarity. And that's where you lose desire. That's where you lose intimacy. You want intimacy, you actually need to have desire. And desire gets created by having this huge polarity of yes, he is holding this, and now I can rest deeply into my feminine, I can surrender, and I can receive from you in all of the ways. And now there is desire. And the desire starts to go away when you don't have respect anymore and you don't trust the leadership anymore because there's no containment there.
So you say, because I agree with you here, but I just want to get a bit of clarity on it so we can talk more and take it deeper. You're saying a lot of the conflict, a lot of the breakdown of this relationship or these marriages or whatever is because they both become masculine.
Or they both become feminine, right? So then you get collapse where they're both in their emotions and it's just chaos. That really volatile relationship.
How many feminine men do you know?
Lots.
What's a feminine man to you?
One that can't lead, that can't make a decision, that is stuck in his emotions, that is, volatile and reactive and wishy-washy.
Is that the same if a woman's feminine?
Well, yeah.
Do we have to edit this part out?
No, but that.
No, that's what I'm trying to go with it.
Right. So, but that is innately the chaos. We are the chaos, and that needs to be accepted. The job of the masculine is to contain that chaos. And the more that can be allowed, right? Some of the reason a woman will not feel safe in the expression of who she is because at some point her emotionality or her chaos becomes too much for the man that is supposed to be holding it. And so it gets shut down. It's well, now I'm too much and now I have to keep myself really small and my essence isn't allowed to be expressed. And so now it's not safe.
Let's go back to you describing a feminine man for a minute there, right? Because when I asked you the question, do you believe that would then be the similar traits for a woman? I wouldn't say that. From a man's perspective, I wouldn't say those are feminine qualities for a woman, but I would say they are for a man. And that's interesting, because when I said you describe a man that's feminine, you said can't lead, wishy-washy, weak, all this kind of stuff, right? But I believe the same thing. If a man was to be feminine, those are the traits that I would see. But if I was to go explain a feminine woman, because feminine women are desirable to men, we find it extremely attractive, I wouldn't say those things. I would say things like comforting, nurturing, soft, receptive, because these seems to be the things that are not so much opposite to what a masculine man is, but it's where you do get that polarity, because we want to come in strong. And when we want to come in strong, we like the other part to be not weak, but soft, gentle, nurturing.
It's two sides of the same coin, and it's just whether it's in shadow or it's integrated, right? So there is a weakness in softness that needs to be protected. That's
very true.
Right? And the wishy-washy is actually flow.
Don't start giving excuses now. You're back to... No, you're not. No, I agree.
Okay, so one of the things that I hear a lot is a man going, I just don't know what the hell is real. There's incongruency in everything that you're saying, and none of it makes sense. And you said this thing, and then you said this thing, and you meant that, and what? And that is wishy-washy energy, right? But it's just the chaos of the emotions needing to be expressed in all of these ways. And then we kind of land somewhere eventually. But it's true, in a same sentence, I can go from here to here and be holding both of them at the same time and be going, you never this and I want that, but I really don't. And it's none of it makes any sense. And it's not supposed to make sense. It's just emotion.
We wish it made sense.
But it's not supposed to.
Well, why isn't it supposed to?
Because it's just emotion. It's not it's an energy that's moving through.
So when you say a woman steps up into her masculine, would a man naturally fall to his feminine, do you believe? Or do you think men battle for a while to both?
Both things can happen, right? So you definitely see relationships where a woman is in her masculine and a man is in his like.
Why do you think, other than not feeling safe, why do you think women step up to become masculine?
That's it.
Just the safety. So could we go back to men and say, hey, if your woman's masculine, it's because you've lacked creating a safe environment?
Both things though. So he could do all of that work and create the safe environment and do all of these things. If she hasn't dealt with her wounds around why it's not safe, she probably won't recognize that that's there because she can't receive it. So I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks. It kind of landed with me, I don't know, sometime in the last couple of weeks of I'm like, oh, I kind of get this. Like maybe this is why women were collectively called to do their healing first. And they've done it collectively for the most part. Not all of them have, but there's like a large group of women that have done it. And they're all angry, going, the men need to get their shit together. Why can't they do this? They need to step up. They need to provide safety. They need to do all of these things. And that's true. What I see though is when a woman has done it first and then I experienced this, and then she can be non-reactive and she can see what's actually happening on the other side without losing her mind in her own trigger. He will see that. He will see that gap and go, oh, she's calm and I'm being reactive and I'm losing my mind. And then the guilt that seems to happen for a man of, oh shit, like my reactivity, my little boy coming out to lose his shit and to, try and get everything he wants and I just want to have what I want. Like when that comes out to play and he sees that has not protected the women in his life, not only has it not protected them, it has caused them pain, because a man's natural state is to protect and provide. And when he couldn't even do that, the guilt and the pain that he feels seems to be more than I could even imagine. I've kind of felt it vicariously through Deegan, through one of his sessions that he was doing. And I was like this is so much. This is so much pain.
Yeah, this is why men refrain from speaking to their partners emotionally for this very reason. When we have in the past expressed small, and this is just the truth. This is not a bad thing. It's just the truth. When men have in the past expressed and become vulnerable to their partners, what men have experienced coming back is that there seems to be a threshold different for a male than there is for a female. In regards to when we start in the past have unloaded to you, women, again, don't have that threshold or I'll call it as is, the strengths and the capabilities of holding what men have held or do hold.
It's a lot.
And this is why we don't anymore. And this is why we get back from women, you don't open up, or you don't talk, or you don't say anything.
So I think you're right. And there's also, it gets used against them.
Absolutely it does.
Yeah. And so there's a big trauma in that.
But we do it to protect ourselves.
I know.
Not because we feel unsafe.
I know.
But we don't like the conflict. We don't like the breaking of the peace. We don't like the bringing down of, the emotional. We don't like that. We're like to come home to experience peace, to see the plateau, to see appreciation, respect. Done. You'll have a man work till he's 90. But it's when we have that, and this is why I massively believe in what we do within Average Joe's, having our meetups, is the camaraderie and mateship that you get from other men.
Yeah.
You can't get that from women. Do we appreciate? Of course we do. We don't even go down that path. But this is the reason why you won't see a man unload. Now, because I know with your sessions, because I've done some sessions with yourself, when you do see men really begin to crack open and express parts, you're tapping into a realm that is very, very well hidden, very, very locked up. And for a man to do that, it takes a lot of trust, but he's relying on you to be strong enough to then go, if I'm going to give you part of my burden, you're going to have to be strong enough to carry this with me for a while. Yeah. I went through we'll use the word bad time. I went through an extremely stressful time about 3 years ago when we had our Queensland company, and I couldn't talk about it at home, right? Not because Lisa wasn't available for it. She certainly is, because she, you've heard me brag about my wife. She's the greatest woman on the planet. But I know that, and I'm not calling women are weak by any means, but I know that women aren't built the way we are on this end of the spectrum. When I had in the past shared with her some things, I created a fear. I created a sense of uncertainty.
Yep.
I created a sense of worry. And then I went, hang on, this is why I don't talk.
Yeah.
This is how this is how we process. This is how we fix. This is how we approach. This is how we deal. This is how we then go problem solve. But this is why a lot of the time we don't even say it.
I agree with you. And there is a level of like, don't hand her the worry. Don't hand that over. Like you can, but at some point it's got to go somewhere. And this is why men's work is so important. I'm like a very minoritarily gifted in the way that I have such strong masculine energy within me that's integrated. I can have a man sit in front of me and want to murder and kill and like get all this stuff out. And I'm like, whatever, like I get that. So there is a little bit of a magical gift that I have to be able to hold the depths of the men's stuff. And it is, I watch it and I felt it and it's excruciating. And I've done some sessions with some men and it's after. So they'll sit inside of it and go, oh, well, that wasn't really that much. And then 2 hours later, they're crying for 4 hours. They've been, ripped apart just because there was safe feminine to hold it. And they've never experienced that before.
Pussies. No, I'm joking. I'm joking for you, man, out there. I'm joking.
But this is a part of the problem, right? Like a part of that problem with men not being able to express it is they weren't nurtured and attuned to by their mothers as children in the first place. So there has never been safe feminine to be able to hold what they have.
When you do sessions with men, how much of it do you have to draw out of them compared to how much they naturally bring it out?
I barely do a thing.
So you're saying that when you give a man an opportunity to open up, he does open up?
It's safety. It is emotional safety from my part. It is an energetic, I'm sitting here and I've got you, and sometimes it'll happen in the first breath and it's cracked open because there is containment, there is safety, and I've got that space and I've absolutely got all of that energy. So it's an energetic feeling and it can crack.
Do you think a man would talk differently if there was a man in your position?
It is different. So me
because Deegan does the same things as you too, doesn't he?
And Gavin, right?
Oh, yeah, and Gav. Oh,
right?
Legend. Yeah, good.
Right. So Gavin we've done sessions with like shared clients, and we've done some he's done and some I've done. And the feedback is it's very, very different sitting with the masculine than sitting with the feminine. So when we do the work, we try and make sure that they get a bit of both of the worlds. They get a bit of masculine, and what's really magical is when you have both of us there at the same time. Right. So what seems to happen, because there's transference that can happen, and this happens inside of relationships. It happens inside of everything we do in our world, in relational things, is transference happens and countertransference happens. So I've got a man sitting in front of me and he's got wounding from a wife or a mother or women in general. And then that starts to get projected onto me, and I've got to be able to hold that and know that it's not for me. And that can go really wrong inside of a regular relationship, right? Like it happens. You in your marriage, if she's got old stuff that's there that has nothing to do with you, and then she attacks you for it. It's kind of like this projection and this transference. So when I've had a client that was kind of doing that, like I was getting a lot of this like attack, I'm the enemy energy. So I just put Deegan next to me while I ran a session, and it all went away because there was masculine safety there, masculine containment.
Interesting. I would find it different. I don't know, because like I said, we've done 3 sessions.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I would respond different if it was a guy.
So what seems to happen is it's a lot more logical and a lot more cognitive when there's masculine to masculine. When there's masculine and feminine as the person facilitating, it cracks open so much deeper, like the real deep pain can come out. And what I've heard Gavin say is there's a rage and an anger that can only really come out in safe masculine, because men are scared to let out how much rage and how much violence and how much hatred really sits inside of them.
Towards a woman, though, if it was a woman, you're saying if it was yourself on the other end asking those questions, you think a man would hold back?
Yeah.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
I'd agree, because there's that natural kicked-in instinct that
to protect.
Yeah, that wouldn't be aggressive.
Yeah. So Deegan says this. He goes, I don't want you to see the level of danger that I can be. I can actually hold it
Pretty much
because of where I've come from.
Yeah. I guess then going back to when you and I have done the sessions, I don't think I would have been as open if it was a guy.
There you go.
And I think the reason being is, again, if you go back to the feminine, for a guy to sit down and be vulnerable and open up and go, right, you really want to go here? Because, again, like we're not going to talk about what we spoke about, but you heard some stuff.
Yeah.
Right. For a guy to get to that point, one, there's got to be trust, obviously.
Yeah.
We know there's going to be a level of judgment, but not a judgment that's going to be held against you, right?
So you'll be able to feel if I'm going to judge you or not. It's all energetic. If someone is sitting there and they're judging you on the inside, the person will feel it and not give it to you.
Yeah. But again, going into those traits that a female has of being the nurturer, the comforter, it's okay. It's not that men, I don't believe we seek it, but if we're going to go, okay, we're going to go down this path, I think I went down that path a little bit more because you were a female, because the feminine traits were on the opposite end. And so I think there's a level of openness that men refrain from exposing to females, but then there's also that untapped one that he will only expose to females. We feel we need you more than we feel that you guys need us. 100%.
Tell me more about that.
And this is why, again, I don't like hookup culture. You give a man the trophy before you even start the race. Where's the fight? Where's the battle? Where's the endurance? Where's the, I won, I conquered this, I got it. Because men, that's a masculine trait.
Yeah.
So when you see a guy as interested in a female, I wouldn't mind going up and talking to her. It starts with the introduction, the courage to go up and say good day. Then it's the get to know you. Then it's the, okay, now I'm going to ask you on a date. And then it's the working towards the trophy at the end, right? So there's a journey for a man to conquer that mountain, and he gets there. So when you give that to the man at the end, at the beginning, you've instantly dealing with a man that's now hasn't even stepped into masculine traits, right? So we desire that deep down because it allows us to be who we are. This is why when we have women in our lives, we feel the fact that we love the fact that we can desire you, work for you, try to get you. We love that because it stirs the things within us that we're built for, right? So when you are in this generation now where women are career-driven, they're very, very self-focused. I'm not saying that in a bad way, but I'm saying we are on this opposite end going, I want to direct it to someone. I wish she was receptive of it.
You're right. Like a huge, big part of this problem is the receptivity is just not there. And it happens on both sides. Like men don't know how to receive the nurturing. Men don't know how to receive.
No, well, I think you're right because unless the situation calls for it, like I said before.
Right? So there is in the work that I do, I can go into the stuff that we went into, right? Like the deepest of traumas, the things that have happened. The most painful thing for people is to open to receive. It's been the most painful thing for me to do. It's the most painful thing for the women that I'm working with to do. It's the most painful thing for men to do, to receive. It is so terrifying, and the system goes chaotic. Like it's like get it away from me. That is the hardest work to do. And that is a woman's job to go and do that work. Like go and deal with the shit that caused you to not be open to receive in the first place. And then you also need, for her to trust that in the real world then, it's like, now can I show up and can I test this on you? Feminine testing, right? It's like, can I test this on you? Can I test this on you? Are you going to still be here? Are you going to still hold this? Can you hold this too? Can you hold this too? And is this too much? Is this too much? And that testing is like, when are you going to crack soon? Until I get to the full expression of all my emotionality, everything that I am, all of the parts of me that need to be exposed. And if you can still hold that, collapse. I will surrender to everything.
You putting this emphasis on men to start this?
I think no, women need to lead the emotional side of things. Men need to be able to hold that. But for men to be able to hold that, they need to actually go and do that deep emotional work themselves and meet that little boy and give him everything he ever needed and, integrate all of that in together. Because it's actually an integration of everything. Like everyone needs the masculine and the feminine, the dark masculine, the dark feminine, the light masculine, the light feminine. All of those need to be integrated into every human. It's like how much of each one are you going to have, but they need to be integrated together. So it's both things at the same time. And I feel like the women have kind of led the emotional part of it, and we were supposed to, and we shouldn't be angry at you for not having your shit together. We should be leading. That is our job to lead you towards that. Like, okay, like now have some grace. Please go and do this work. I've got some grace while you figure it out. Of course, you're not going to get it straight away. Of course, you can't hold everything on day one.
Okay, this is where I get a bit, I don't know. Why do you think it's a woman's responsibility to guide us and to lead us into getting work done? Do we come across like we need to be fixed?
It's not about being fixed. It's about leading the way. So like if as a man you're leading something, like you're showing the way, you're leading someone there, you're leading your team, you're leading your company, this is the way, this is where we're going. The leadership is actually just going to do it and then holding it and going, this is what I expect. This is where I'm at. This is what I need. Like, here it is. It's not go to this therapist, go to that therapist, because that's force. And no man is going to respond to a woman's force ever. Right?
I'm telling you right now.
Right? So leadership is not force.
Leadership is influence.
Right. So a woman's job is to influence by her own healing, by doing it herself first.
Okay, this is this is what I'm saying. To influence a husband.
Yeah.
Okay, take me on this journey a bit more, because I don't know this is where we do see eye to eye on this. Influences in what? What do we need influencing in?
To see the gaps.
In relationship breakdown.
In your own little boy that's still operating.
That's what I'm saying. So are you saying that we get looked at like we have issues and need to be fixed it's the women in our lives' job to take us on that journey to get
It's not
better.
Take you on that journey. Your job is to go and do that journey however you see fit. Right? So let me give you an example. In the last couple of months, me and Deegan hit really hard against each other. Like it was like make or break, we are going to be done. And inside of that argument, I had spent the last couple of months really dealing with all of my abandonment wounds, all of the times that dad didn't show up, didn't choose me, all of this stuff. And that work was excruciating, absolutely excruciating. And I did like the final boss of it on this particular Monday, mid-argument, are we going to survive? And once that was complete, I stopped and I could just see every way he was operating from this little boy that was like, I won't back down. I'm not doing what you tell me to do. I need to be right. And then I stopped being reactive to it. And I was like, I need you to lead us back. I'm not doing it this time. So every other time before that, I had kind of brought on mother energy and this is my job, right? I know how to do this work. So I got all mothery and I stepped in and I led us back to a good place. I said, sorry, it's okay. What do you need? Right? I'm mothering him. And that particular time went, nah, you lead us back now. If you don't lead us back this time, we will lose all of our polarity.
When you say lead us back, do you mean apologise first?
Not necessarily, but it's bring us back to safety. So inside of argument, I've got abandonment wounds. He's an avoidant. And so as he goes away and he takes himself out of the situation, I get triggered into the abandonment. So, and then I reach for more. I need you back. I need you back. He goes further and further away. So it's just creating more and more and more drama. All I need is safety. All I need is for him to say, I love you. We're going to work through this. It's going to be okay. I just need a few hours to just sort my head out. Now I'm safe. What I was getting was I'm not talking to you until you do this, and this little child kind of behavior, right? And prior to completing that particular piece of work inside of myself, I was losing my mind at that. How could you not come back to me? I can't, I'm going to die. If you don't come back, I'm going to die. And once that was complete, I was like, oh, this is ridiculous. This is like, you're acting like a child. Are you serious? You're like, you know what I mean? I just saw it all for what it was.
He's a pretty built child.
Right? Really built, strong
muscles
child.
on muscles, that guy.
And so I just stopped reacting. And I was like, okay, you got to lead us back though. You got to create safety for me. You've got to come back and go like, I'm here. There is safety. Let me hear you out. Let me you can be seen in all your emotions. Let me hold all of those emotions. And once I'm safe, I can then have the conversation about what went wrong. I just need to be safe. I need touch. I need presence. Like that's what I really need. Like connection and presence. And then the conversation can happen. When there is no presence, it's all that I can't hear him, I can't see anything, I can't do anything. The safety has to come first. And so I just sat there going, you lead us back. You provide the safety first. Because if we don't do it this way, I have led us back. I have become the mother. We lose polarity. And I just sat in it until he got it. And he was like, oh, I'm acting like a child here. She's still really calm. And then he's gone, okay, well, yes, I need to go and do some work on this. And he rang Gav and he's like, right, he's in 3 months of really deep work. And we're like 3 weeks into that. And the shift is monumental. And now it's shifted the other way.
You've just molded him to be your own little... I'm joking.
Well, no, he's leading and containing and providing safety in a way that I've never experienced from him. And so now he's jumped up and I'm like, can I even receive this? So now I'm back into having to open myself to receive even more. So it's this dance. It's a dance of like, both people have to be doing the things together at the same time. And one person will be here and it'll go like this. Like he had, like in the few weeks of work that he's done in dealing with that little child of him that needed to get his way, that wasn't attuned to, that wasn't nurtured, that didn't have what he needed by his mother and by the feminine qualities of his father, all of that being integrated within him, he's like, oh, I don't need to hand you all of this stuff. I've got us. I've got everything. He started making all of this extra money, like everything. It was like, holy shit. And now I'm struggling to receive it's what I asked for. And now I've got to go do some more work on being able to receive even more. So both things together.
I believe that when a man goes silent, he is doing those things that you are wanting him to do, which is the fix, the brings back together, the building of the trust. That's why men go silent.
I know why they do.
You just want it verbalized. Or you're saying on behalf of women, you want it verbalized.
With safety. Provide some safety inside of that. Of course, it's okay to go and take some time, but give her some safety. I love you. I'm coming back. We're going to work through this. I just need a little bit of space.
And it got there originally how? Or it gets there, not saying exactly your situation. It gets to that point how?
He needs to be able to deal with the little boy inside of him that has a tantrum.
And you're saying all men have this?
A lot of them. A whole big lot of them. And that has come from like probably the culture of women going to work, right? It's like they weren't there. Mums weren't there.
Thinking about the little boy situation, right? We just had this just last night. I was at one of our Average Joe's meetups just up here at the tavern, and we were talking about dopamine. It was the topic this week about dopamine, right? On how there are so many addictions and so many struggles that men go through: alcoholic addictions, drug addictions, pornography addictions. Social media, mobile phones, that's a massive one right now, right? And all these are symptoms, but these aren't the problems. They're just the symptoms of the real problem. The real problem being the seeking and the searching for a dopamine hit, right? We've got a podcast coming out next week about dopamine because we had this amazing lady on, Dr. Trish Lee, phenomenal lady, about dopamine, right? And how the search for dopamine is the actual addiction itself. We navigate it by different conduits and different whatever, right? But we're saying when it comes to the revelation of, you know what, I need to actually quit this in my life, you know, whatever it is, the drugs, alcohol, whatever it is, we try to focus on the issue itself instead of the dopamine, right? But the way to combat it is to increase the dopamine in other areas of your life, not so much bring things into battle or compete with the addiction you have, but increase the good levels of dopamine. And we'll talk about this last night, right? One of the guys said, whatever happened to the days when we were little boys, right? And the best days you could think of was when it come to Saturday, all day you'll spend out in your BMX, you climbed the tree, you came back, you're dirty, a few scratches, you're exhausted, best day ever. You try to convince that kid to jump on a video game, he'd be like, no, I'm good, man. He's out loving it. Like that's like the most enjoyable height of that little boy's life. And we're saying, why do we lose that as men, right? And we started to joke about, what if we planned a day where we all went and bought a couple of cheap ass BMXs and rode around the streets like little boys, right? Just throwing this idea out. Yeah, play, right?
Yeah.
Throwing this idea out as just a fun, like a funny thing to do. Then it started to sound more like a fun thing to do. Then obviously the question was like, why
do we not do it?
Why do we stop as men? Yes, we get introduced, puberty happens, girls, then you get your first job, and then the combination of, work and the pressures that come to try to provide and protect, because a protector and a provider doesn't include, it's not only is it not limited to yourself as a man, you don't protect and provide just yourself. It's communal, so it becomes your family, your nest, right? So when all those pressures start coming, you let go of the little boy. And I wonder what would happen if men were to go back to being a little boy instead of trying to escape it.
Is play feminine or masculine?
I think it'd be both. What do you think it is?
Well, that play and flow and do whatever is a feminine quality, right? It's like,
well, you look at sports, so there'd be more male sports out there than there are female. So men play.
That's competition.
That's play with a trophy at the end,
right? But if you're just out riding your bike, getting your knees scraped, doing whatever, that's like flow. That's a feminine thing to do, and you're 100% right. And this is one of the issues. And this is what I was.
Do you think that to me sounds like a boy thing to do?
It is a boy thing to do, but it's a feminine part of it. It's play.
It plays dolls and doll houses and makeup and painting your toenails.
That's a little girl's play, but the energy of play is not structure. It's not leadership. It's not discipline. It's play. And so this is where I'm saying like men need to integrate their feminine as well. It's like intentionally do the things that are a little bit feminine. Have the massage, go play, go get dirty in the mud. Like,
I'm confused as to why these are labelled as feminine things. These to me,
because you let it. It's not a structure, masculine leadership. It's play. It's flow. It's whatever.
I'm still confused as to what I don't know. I think men enjoy to play,
but that doesn't make it wrong.
No, of course not.
Yeah,
no, that's what I'm saying.
It doesn't make it like having something that's so it's like, okay, so you can intuition, right? Intuition is inherently a feminine thing to do. That is a feminine energy, intuition. But it's like how a man deals with that intuition is like whether he executes it in a masculine way or executes it in a feminine way. So and there is different types of intuition. There's like, I just know, there's the gut feeling. And then there's like the more woman's type of intuition, which is like, I can just feel all the energies and I'm connected to all the things. And that's my intuition. But intuition on its own is inherently a feminine quality. But a man will take that intuition and then execute it in a masculine way with delegation and leadership. And I know this, and this is how I'm going to execute it. Play is inherently a feminine quality. Flow and play, and then you can execute it in, I'm going to structure in my play, and
okay, I'm going with it,
and I'm going to make a decision to go on and be inside of that. You need to have that, because otherwise you're just as burnt out from having so much masculine energy. If you're like only leading, only holding, only doing this, only like I've got to just structure and discipline and like all day, every single year, like you're going to get burnt out. Both you need to have your emotions let out sometimes. You need to be in flow sometimes. You need to be in your intuition. You need to play. You need to go have a massage. Like those things allow you to be integrated and whole as a human, where you can operate in your masculine without getting so fried.
I love getting a massage, I'll say that.
Right? which is touch and connection and surrender. It is surrender.
It can't be a dude, though. Can't have a dude massage.
But massage is surrender. You're letting someone else take control.
You think a man can get burned out being masculine?
Yeah.
I just think a man needs rest. Actually, no, I'm going to reword that. Sorry. You believe a man, when he gets like operating so much in his masculine, that he needs to sometimes incorporate some feminine.
Yeah.
I just think he needs rest. I don't think he needs to.
What is rest? Where does rest land in it?
You're saying rest is a feminine thing.
Yeah. It's rest and softness and slowness. You need to slow down sometimes, have a day off, go play in the pool. Like, it's bringing in some feminine aspects into your life. Okay, so
I think rest is feminine.
Yeah. Okay, so take this as an example.
God rested on the seventh day.
Right? He had a bit of integration. He had a bit of balance.
I'm going to text him and tell him, hey, God. Did you hear what Hannah said?
Okay, so take this as an example. I was a professional fighter for a decade, right? And I did not have an ounce of feminine in me. Not an ounce. I got up and I ran. And then I went home and I ran my business. And then I went back to training and I ran, and I was just masculine. And I killed my body. I was so burnt out. I had nothing worked anymore. And to be a little bit in my feminine was terrifying for me for all sorts of reasons of how the hell I grew up and what my life was and all of those things. And so rest, I was like, no, I will not. That is for the weak. That is for people that want to die. And if I started to rest, all the emotions would come up, the feminine things would start to happen, and I was terrified of it.
Any real bodybuilder will tell you, though, that you need the rest day.
Because they need balance, because they need to bring some of that in there.
And you call that feminine?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Why is it wrong?
No,
why are you triggered by having some feminine energy in?
No, I'm just trying to see why rest would be seen as a feminine thing.
Because it's surrender.
Yeah, it's surrender to yourself.
Still surrender.
We don't surrender, we're men.
Right? Which is why they struggle so much to ever put it all down.
Oh, I don't know if I see rest as I think rest is a crucial part. We all rest. I think it's sleep. Sleep's rest.
This is what I'm saying, is having all of these parts integrated is a crucial part. It is crucial to have all of these integrated, to allow all of them to be there.
You've said energy heaps and heaps of
Yeah.
times. Explain what you mean. When you say energy, you're not talking about traits. So when you say energy connected on the end of, say, feminine energy or masculine energy, what do you mean by energy?
The intention that it holds, the energy that it holds. It's what type of energy is I will not stop until I die.
And so where would feminine energy slot into that? Where would that slot into feminine?
That doesn't slot into feminine. I will not stop until I die is masculine.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So when you say, a woman's feminine energy.
Right, so she's in surrender. She's in receptivity. And you can feel that, right? If you meet a woman and she's marching around and taking control, and she's there's some serious masculine energy going on over there. And you can feel it, you can see it. You have a woman that's in complete surrender and in flow and allowing all the things to happen and just, whatever. That's a feminine energy that you can see and feel and experience. You can experience a woman's feminine energy when you're with her. You can experience your wife when she's in her masculine and stressed and pulling her hair out and all the things, it's all the walls are up and I've just got to do the things. You can feel that, right?
When a man steps into his feminine, do you find it attractive? When I say you, I'm talking on behalf of females.
I can't talk on behalf of females because some females will find if they're completely in their masculine, they'll probably be attracted to feminine because they can be in control of it.
So when you see a feminine dude, do you instantly go, his wife must be controlling?
It happens a lot of the time.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I'm being honest with you. When I meet a feminine dude, I go, mate, I can just imagine what your missus is like. Do you think strong women aim for feminine men?
I don't think it's intentional. I don't think it's conscious.
So what is it about a masculine man you think of feminine? What do you think a masculine woman, a feminine man finds attractive? Why would a dude find that attractive?
Because he doesn't have to do anything. He doesn't have to lead. He doesn't have to make any decisions.
Weak ass punk.
Right?
Bitch. Hey, get out there and do something, mate.
Because he's got a mother now who's going to take care of him and do all the things. He can just kick back. That's what he's set up his nervous system to do that.
And we're seeing more and more of it as we get on. There are weaker men out there.
And so this is there's a lot of parts to this, right? Because you're right in the dating thing. Like then there's not even a chance for them to grow some courage. They can just get on the app. So they don't have a chance to build some courage to go and have the conversation and have the hard conversation and, do the thing that they might get rejected on. Like how much trauma is there around rejection for men?
I would even go as far as, I'm that anti-dating app, right? I'm so anti it. I would even go as far as if you're a dude on Tinder, if you're a fella on Tinder and a woman matches you, she's not matching you because you're masculine, because you haven't just displayed any masculine traits.
I met Deegan on a dating app.
Tinder?
No.
Okay, different. I'm talking like the hookup ones where it's like, hey, I think the way you look's pretty hot. Let's go bang.
But inside of that, they're not looking for.
But this is my point. So for a guy, if you're a guy on Tinder and a chick has swiped on you and you're matching, you're going there for the quick hookup, you are literally, as that guy, declaring yourself that you're a feminine dude. I'm telling no, because there is nothing about you on your masculine traits that were displayed or advertised for her to be attracted to. So she's looked at the way you look and gone, okay. So if you're a dude out there hooking up on, I'm telling you now, if you're a dude out there hooking up on these hookup apps, you literally are saying to the world you are feminine.
They're getting an unconscious need met. Potentially a conscious need met, but they're getting an unconscious need met. It's like, I need validation. I need someone to tell me I'm amazing. I need to not feel self-loathing. And this is all running under their system, and this is the fastest way to get it done. And then you're right, they get the quick dopamine fix. And like, when have you ever had the conversation of like, what does slow intimacy actually feel like? Like slowing everything right down. Like that is both gone away and starting to come back. Like those conversations are starting to happen of like, right? Slow it all down. Whereas like intimacy and connection is not just sex. It's also the really deep conversations. It's the heart to heart. It's breathing together. It's all of those things are intimacy and connection. Mm-hmm. And that has both been lost and coming back.
It's definitely coming back. The more and more guys I speak to now, I think when we say it's coming back, I think the conversation within it has come back. I don't think men and women are seeing it in their relationships just yet, but the conversation started.
I think it's happening.
It's a big, very, very early stages on it, which is great.
Yeah.
This is what will change the divorce statistic. It's currently, I'm telling you the truth now. You got literally 1 in 2 marriages now fail. That will change the more this starts, more and more, where the communication starts, but the connectivity.
Yeah, but it's not. It's first and foremost not a connection or a communication issue. It's a nervous system issue first. So the nervous systems don't actually know how to be inside of that. It's too terrifying. They've never experienced it before. So like, yeah, communication needs to happen, but you can't just get 2 completely dysregulated humans and go have a healthy conversation. They can't do it. Their nervous systems don't know how. The trigger that gets said first, which normally in a healthy communication will go, okay, well that feels like a lot. This is what's coming up for me right now, turns into, you motherfucker, I'm packing my bags and going, because their nervous systems can't actually be with their own emotions first, let alone someone else's heightened emotions. Mm. So you can't just go, yeah, communicate better. It doesn't work like that.
No, I totally agree with you. No, of course. And doesn't even come there to talk more either. It's learning how to talk more. And
the right conversations and the actual truth of what's happening inside of here. Like that is a really hard thing to do, to, speak the truth of the pain. And then like we're going back to before, of speaking what you actually desire. That's terrifying for people. You got a woman that's been stuck in her masculine her whole life. She's 45 years old, like never experienced actually being able to be in receivership, and she has to ask for what she desires. And every single time it's been thrown back in her face. Not going to happen without some deep work.
We wish you asked for what you desire.
I know.
And make things so much easier.
I know.
Instead you
directly.
You leave us there to decode some. I say this all the time. Like don't leave me out here to try and decode this. Just say it as it is.
We often don't know what it is immediately. It's like there's
weird creatures.
Right, there's something that arises. We're feeling
Yeah.
something. It requires all of it to come out. And then it's like, okay, well, this is what I desire. Until you actually start to do that so much that you get to have real time. Oh, this is actually what I need right now. And then the safety to be able to express it in real time.
Safety got thrown around a lot this podcast.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I feel fine. I think one of the questions that men would be thinking right now, though, is that if women step up into their masculine because they're not feeling safe, I think a lot of men will have the question, well, a couple of questions. I think one of them would be, where have we or how have we not made you feel safe?
Yeah.
And how can we now make you feel safe?
Yeah.
Because when you step up in your masculine, it is so unattractive to a dude. It is so unattractive. It's near ugly when a woman is in her, I'm talking in a relationship.
Yeah.
Outside of a relationship, there are women out there that hold masculine things which can easily create a buddy style, I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but within a marriage or a relationship, when a woman steps up in her masculine, it's not attractive at all. As much as I guess when men have become feminine, it's not attractive because you cry out for it, lead, direct, come on, make these decisions.
Yeah, it is. And so this is where the desire goes away on both sides, right? It's like women's just running around making every decision, won't let him lead, because a part of this is letting him lead.
Okay, that very statement right there, though, I do have a problem with. If you have to let us lead, we're not leading, are we?
Oh, no.
You've let us. Okay, I'll let you. So who's really leading if you let us?
Okay, so if you have a man that wants to and you just will not step down and you will not get out of your masculine energy and you will just make every decision, he's got no opportunity. It's not about, oh, yeah, I guess you can. It's actually letting go of control and surrendering and providing the space for him to do it.
Mm-hmm. Which is why men slot into happy wife, happy life. Oh, I just got to keep the missus happy, mate. Yeah, whatever she wants. That right there, the moment you have a man operating in happy wife, happy life, you got a defeated man. You've got a man that's quit.
Yes. That doesn't stop, like...
No, because he desires to. He wants to lead.
But she's not letting him.
That's exactly my point.
Right.
So he slots into, okay, well, you know what? I'm sick of the argument. I'm sick of the battle. I'm sick of pushing against this wall. I'm sick of knocking on the door not being open. I'll tell you what, you just do it. I'll go work. I'll go provide.
So the polarity has been lost. Desire is gone. Respect is gone.
And it frustrates the hell out of men.
I understand that. I understand that. Like looking at the nuances of a particular relationship, I guarantee there'll be two parts of this where in one part he is not fully stepping up into the place that he needs to be, and the other part is she can't surrender. And it takes a jump off the cliff.
Very much so.
There's a jump off the cliff moment where it's like, fuck, all right, like I'll let go and I hope you've got it. Because there's a moment that they have to remember how. They have to figure out how to take it back. And
absolutely.
so you've got to really step back and allow it to happen. And that's what I mean by let them, like step back and do nothing.
Mm-hmm. We collectively would appreciate that.
I know.
Because that's where we start to flourish.
I know. So there is a deep amount of work for women to do. And if we do that and allow you that space and that grace, you better fucking step up, you know?
Or else what?
Well, then the desire goes away, right? Then it's like, well, you know, are you actually going to be able to provide the things that I desire?
We will, and this is, I guess, on behalf of all men, we will provide to the best of our capability. We might not provide to the level it's in your head of a status, but men will drive to their utmost capability. He will give you his best.
Yeah.
It might not be your best though.
Right. So then there's like a values and desire thing going on. So like you, I know you will. I've seen you operate. I've seen how you exist in your life. I'm very sure that you would do that. Not everyone's there. Not all men are there.
I think they either have been or they want to get back to. Well, sorry, they have been or they want to get to, because it's ingrained into us. It's outright ingrained into us. But this is where the phrases like, oh, can never keep out, mate, never given her bloody enough of what she wants. Things like this come from because men will go to their capability. Have you ever heard there's a book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. Have you ever read that by John Maxwell? Incredible book. Talks about the law of the lid, on how everybody's got a lid. So in other words, it's their capacity. And it's like a flea, the old saying of the fleas, you put a lid, fleas in a jar, they'll jump up like 2 foot high. You put a lid on top, they'll jump into it, hit the lid, and they'll do it for 2, 3, 4 days, hit the lid, take the lid off, and they won't jump above the lid. They'll jump to that because they've now created a lid on their capability, their capacity.
So their capacity can expand. So this is why I'm saying maybe they're not all there. Their capacity to provide more, to protect more, to create more can expand.
Oh, I think all men's capabilities and capacities can expand, 100%.
And how much, who put that lid there? Is that them or is that her?
I think if men have a lid, I think majority of that lid comes from verbal put downs in their journey of where they get to in life.
Yeah. So it's their childhood.
In combination,
right?
childhood, whether it be at home, through schooling, through past datings.
So there is work for them to do on their own that has nothing to do with the woman that they must go and do to be able to open their capacity, expand their capacity to be able to receive more from the world, to be able to lead more, to hold more. Some of this is being able to actually hold it. Like, yeah, okay, well, I can make that, but can I actually hold it? Can I not lose it? Can I contain it here?
I agree with you. That's why I love the work that you do.
Yeah.
I'm being honest because you knew I was skeptical at the start. You could see it on my face.
I know.
And I told you. But I do like the work that you do. And I believe if more men, I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, if more men were vulnerable and open up, that's definitely not what I'm saying. But I think if men put themselves in a position to go, you know what, I want to allow myself to be cracked open here and exposed because I want to see what's inside so I can go forward and because everything that we do, we always say everything that we do in Average Joe's here and all the content that we provide here at the Men's Collective is to build better men.
Yeah.
And I think any man wanting to become better is a man that can put himself and position himself in a position to go, okay, you know what, crack me open a little bit. I'm prepared to be exposed because if there's some stuff going on, I'm ready.
Yeah. And that in itself is terrifying. And for a man to even have the conversation is courageous. And I don't say that lightly because it is excruciating sometimes and it is confronting and it is vulnerable. And Deegan always says vulnerable means open to attack. And that's true.
Yeah.
Right?
We don't like the word vulnerable. Men don't.
Yeah. And so all of those things are true. And also the other side of it is the most beautiful thing that they will ever experience. There's a guy I'm working with at the moment. He's his marriage was ended. They were done. And we're 3 weeks in and now they're in deep, deep repair. And it's because he looked deeply and it was excruciating for him. It was a lot. But just that little amount. And then he could actually show up and in non-reactivity. He could provide her safety. He could hear her and see her. And now he's, going to come back and there's even more emotions and he's bringing it back to me to process it all. Because you're right. Wow. Giving it all to her is too much in her current state. She's already dysregulated. She's already all of these things. All right, bring it here. Bring it here. Give it to me. That's okay. And now you can go back and provide safety and provide containment and lead. And he's doing it.
It's interesting you said that because going back to what I said about vulnerability, men hate the word vulnerable. But yet one of the biggest things a man can do to see transformation in his own life is to become vulnerable to himself.
Yeah.
And you just said there, you're seeing this marriage breakdown, but after 3 weeks, this guy's dug deep within himself. One of the things I always say when I see relationships break down and I hear of things happening within relationships, I'll never say to a man, oh, it's your fault. But I will say to a man, start with you. Open yourself up, dig deep, and take responsibility for you. Dig that little, go below the surface and open up what roles you've played in this relationship to get it where it is. That's not, but it's her, forget her for a moment. You're the husband here. You're the man. I'm not saying it's your fault, but I'm saying take responsibility. Look within yourself first. If you can look within yourself first and then go from there, you'd be very surprised.
So that's true on both sides. If both people do that, then you get real magic. Because the thing that I hear the biggest complaint from men is she just won't take accountability and responsibility. I'm willing to own all of my shit. When they start doing the work, I am so willing to own all of my shit, but I need her to take accountability at some point, right? So inside of my conflict at home, there is absolutely times where I lose my shit and I'm pointing the finger and I'm projecting all over him for my past stuff. But it's like, how quickly can I come back to accountability? How quickly can I come back to responsibility for what is mine and not his? And if both people can take responsibility and accountability for the stuff that they're throwing up into it, you're always going to be okay.
100% agree. I actually put a post out just yesterday. We had Dane Weston, who used to play for a couple of NRL footy teams, really legend of a guy. We had him on a couple of weeks ago, and we're just going through it at the moment, pulling out some stuff for his content to make some reels, right? And he said this thing the other day, and I just made a reel yesterday and released it yesterday. He said something that I think a lot of men just need to grasp. He talked about the breakdown of his very first marriage, right? So he's now into his second marriage, and what it's like to be a stepdad. He hasn't got full custody of his real kids. His ex-wife does. So he doesn't see his real kids a lot. It's like once every second week. And it was saying about how when the conversations have come up in the past of, why did your mum break up? Like, what really happened? And blah, blah, blah. And he said, things can be said at their home because he's with their mum full time. And they can bring things with questions into when he gets time with them, right? And what did mum do? What did mum say? Why didn't you love her anymore? Like, all these questions that kids have, right? But his response to that was, I could sit here and talk to my own kids and blame their mother until the cows come home. I can continually to just blame and blame and blame. He said, but instead I choose to take responsibility and not to badmouth their mother, but look within myself and go, there were a lot of things I did wrong. I chose to then take responsibility for those things. And I now have worked on those things because of what I've learned into making a fantastic second marriage. And I think to myself, I've seen broken marriages and I've seen parents talk and raise their kids with a broken marriage. Oh, your father, blah, blah, blah. And then, oh, yeah, your mother's a blah. And you see it and you go, what an opportunity to do and flip the script and go, mate, I could sit here and bag up, but there are a lot of things I did as a man that I'm going to take responsibility for. And I may not have the opportunity to mend what was there, but I can now readapt and rebuild the man I'm going forward into my next business, into my next marriage, into my next whatever. That I love. I love hearing stuff like that.
Because what are you doing to those kids now? You're showing them
100% you are.
How to be accountable.
You are. You're showing those
them
kids
how to look within themselves.
You're building the next generation in a small conversation.
Yeah.
And that small conversation has come from responsibility, accountability, and taking action. Yeah. Absolutely love it.
Yeah. There was I did this process with my dad, and I won't go into too many details because he might get a little bit upset.
Wow.
But it was intense, I
can imagine.
But I alchemied my own parents' divorce. So I'm sitting here watching my father go through the pain of his divorce with my mother, and I was 8 years old at that time, having my own horrendous experience with it.
Did you say cause your parents' divorce? Or no, I'm joking. I'm joking. Sorry.
Definitely caused his second one.
Oh, really? Oh, geez. Okay. Touchy. I might need to do an alchemy session with Hannah right here. Oh, jeez. Moving right along. Sorry, I didn't realize you'd say that.
But anyway, the thing that he landed in was like, I should have asked you what you needed.
Oh, incredible.
And I bawled my eyes out.
Wow.
Right? So the reason why it's so hard for me to receive and ask for what I desire and ask for what I need and all these things is like moments like that in my childhood, right?
Down.
So
taking notes down.
They've split and no one actually ever asked what I needed or what I wanted. It was just like forced into a place that he thought was best. And at 34 years old, we're on a Zoom and he's going through this process like where he didn't feel as though he deserved all the love that I had created inside of this session.
Wow.
Because he felt like he'd really fucked up because he never asked me what I needed.
Oh, you give me goosebumps.
Right?
It's powerful for a dad to not only confess, like that's
right. it collapsed so much in me. Like that moment collapsed so much in me in the way I was able to ask for things from the next day.
From a father to a daughter.
Yeah.
How did it make you feel?
I mean, I felt all of this pain in my heart watching all of this.
Physical pain?
Physical pain. This is a 2-hour session and it's messy. And I'm like having to hold it. And also I can really feel this. But that moment was like, oh, he really gets it. Like I felt seen and I felt heard and I felt like I mattered.
Wow.
And that it was actually okay to be able to ask for what I needed. It was actually hilarious. Like the next week I'm on the phone to Gav, I'm on the phone, I need this, you know, like just collapsed everything for me.
What do you think daughters need from their dads that they don't get?
Attunement, presence, all the things that we end up needing from our partners.
I heard this statement years ago, and because I've got a daughter who's 22, and I heard this statement years and years and years ago. And I think she would have only been about 1, or not even born, but I'm talking like early years. And I've done this. She probably doesn't even know that I've done this. Like, but I subconsciously she would, because she acts this out, right? You've met my daughter, haven't you, Chelsea? Super confident, super beautiful, like amazing young woman. Like she's just a champion of a woman, like truly she is. But I heard this statement years ago, because a father can fall into this trap without knowing, right? And this is the trap. When you comment, every father believes his daughter's beautiful, regardless of anything. They just do. Every father goes, darling, you're beautiful. And one of the dangers within that is we do that from an honest, we do that from a very, what's the word I'm looking for? Innocent angle, right? That's our approach. It's honest and it's innocent. But it can sometimes cause one of the biggest problems in confidence in young girls. And this is why, right? You're a young girl, she's 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, right? She, putting her own makeup on and doing her own hair and whatever, all these things that young girls are wanting to look beautiful, right? And then puts on this nice dress and she comes out and the father's reaction is, oh, darling, you're beautiful. You look beautiful, right? Subconsciously what that can do in the girl's mind is that now she's beautiful because she's got all this stuff on, compared to commenting on what she's done has made her, right? So in other words, this, right, perfect example, because I'm probably not wording it right. If my daughter was to come out with the dress on, I go, darling, that dress is beautiful, compared to, darling, that dress makes you look beautiful. Oh, wow, you look beautiful. Because when you say you look beautiful, you're basically saying you look beautiful, now you've got a dress on. Whereas if you say, oh, wow, that dress is beautiful, what you are subconsciously saying is that she's beautiful with or without the dress on. So commenting that the dress is beautiful doesn't change, doesn't negate, doesn't modify your approach to her outside of that. Because I think when you start saying to young girls, oh, wow, look at you. Oh, my God, you are beautiful. You look beautiful. You're basically saying now you do. So that can subconsciously create that, oh, so this is beauty, dressing up's beauty, the makeup's beauty, the hair's beauty. Where can I be beautiful, just me? And I've done that since she was like a kid. If she'll put something nice on, I'll go, wow, darling, that shirt is a really nice shirt. That dress, that's beautiful. Oh, your hair's beautiful. Not saying she is, because she knows she is, because I've commented on her in her beauty on so many. And so you will meet her and she is so confident in herself because she knows whether it's the dress, the shirt, the shoes, the hair, forget that stuff. As a human, she is beautiful because I've taught her that that's what beauty is. You're beautiful. Those things there are also, but you as a person are beautiful. I think any man that can learn that, and I've done that, and I'm telling you now, like if you got to know her, you'd go, my God, everything you just said about her is true. And I go, I back her 100%. She's an amazing kid.
I remember at about maybe 15, I started taking drugs really early, and I'd been out partying for like 5 days, hadn't eaten, and I came home and Dad made a comment, shit, you look amazing. I'm starved. Absolutely starved.
Wow.
Bring on eating disorder for the rest of my life.
Wow.
like it does. It makes a really, really big impact. And like how, I mean, we can go on for hours about this, but like, when is love provided? Is it when you're winning? Is it when you've done something amazing? So like are you loved just because you exist, or are you loved because you've won, or because you've become number one?
Conditional and unconditional
right?
love.
Yeah. So this is some of the problems that women have in receiving, is because receiving or like having things given has been conditional. Well, I have to show up like this first. I have to be able to over deliver before I can have anything, or it'll be given to me and then it'll be taken away because the attention goes somewhere else. There has not been presence.
Yeah.
You know, that's why it's so hard to receive.
I've going back to my pastoring years again, learning conditional love compared to unconditional love. Sometimes when love is given but felt undeserved, that makes it hard to receive.
Why does it feel undeserved?
Well, let's just stay with my pastoring days here for a while. When you're bringing a message to somebody that God loves them regardless, people instantly look at themselves in why they think they could possibly be unlovable. Oh, but I've done this. Yeah, I'm not saying conditionally you might have done some, I get that, but you are still loved. It's unconditional. The love is unconditional. Do you need to make adjustments? Well, that's on you. If you want to make changes, awesome, but that doesn't change the fact that the love is unconditional.
Okay, so if you come back to the addiction thing inside of this, right, this can play out a lot inside of addiction. And when you're trying to get someone, like you've got a family member or something like that that's addicted to something, and you only cheer them on when they're not engaging with the addiction. And what happens is, if you just give them love no matter what they're doing, they have no need for it anymore.
Yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
And this is how it plays out, right? It's like all of this, like, oh, you're doing amazing, now I'll give you love. Oh, you're winning, now I'll give you love. Oh, you made a good decision, now I'll give you love. It's like, can you provide the presence and the love and the attunement and all of those things no matter what is happening? And then because a lot of those negative behaviors are because there has been no presence and attunement and love. And it's like, how do I take this pain away? How do I distract myself from it?
It's funny because I'll tell her, he's in the sound room. He might not hear the story. Maybe when he edits it, he'll hear it. But I'll tell a story about him, right? About a year ago, we had Dennis Hogan on the show, right? 2022 IBO world champion boxer. Like he's the gloves behind that wall signed by, like he's Dennis Hogan, world champion boxer, right? And we had him on and did an amazing podcast, right? And as you know, Samuel does all of our tech stuff. Had all the guys in here, had him for nearly 2 hours. He drove up from South Brizzy, so it took him nearly 2 hours to get here. Amazing podcast. He drives home. And that afternoon, we're heading off. It was a Friday arvo. That afternoon, we're heading off to Tangalooma, like Moreton Island, for the weekend, right, as a family. So we've just finished the podcast. We're going to the tech room. It didn't record, right? So we had to add him back, right? But anyway, it didn't record. Now, unbeknownst to us, we ended up having an issue that wasn't his fault. But every part of me was like, it's your fault. Because I'm like, dude, like all you have to do is, because my mind's going, if you knew the prep that went into making this happen, and all I needed you to do was press record. That's in my head. Half an hour later, we're driving down the road to go away for the weekend together as a family. And I'm so ticked. He knew I was pissed. Like I was so like, just couldn't believe it happened, right? We get to Tangalooma, we catch the boat across and we're walking on the beach as a family. So all of us are there, all 6 of us. And he's super upset because he can see how much it upset me. Lisa knows how much it upset me. She's like, the whole conversation all the way down there in the car. Do you think there's a way you can get it back? And I'm short answered, no. Do you think about it? No. Everyone knew Dad's like ticked, right? So it made him upset. We get down to there, we start walking on the beach. And I can see I'm still like in my like, can't believe he doesn't even, Dennis Hogan didn't even know it didn't record. He just think he's come done an amazing podcast, which he had. And I'm like, it's gone, right? And we're walking. I look over and I can see how upset he is, right? And I'm upset times 100. And everyone knows it. And I look over and I thought, this is opportunity to make love conditional or unconditional here. And I saw him And so I've taken a couple of steps forward to catch up to him and just put my arm around him, right? Didn't say anything, but just the arm was saying, mate, within work, something's happened. We're going to get through it, but this doesn't change the fact you're my boy. The condition, has changed, but the position hasn't. You're still my son. So I'm still going to love you regardless. So you may have changed the condition, which is something's happened. Like the work condition had changed, but you in your position hasn't. You're still my boy. And it did something in him, but it did something in me. For that rest of the weekend, I'm like, I feel damn good.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? But I know he felt good from it. You know what I mean? But I think this is where we need to, and whether it's just men and women, we need to, as men, look past the conditions and remember the position. And this is where I think words play a massive role within a relationship. And I've said this to Lisa, again, 25 years of marriage, we've had to learn how to talk to each other. Everybody argues, everyone fights, everyone has disagreements, right? We get that. But the wording of when the disagreement happens and you're super angry and something's really happened, it's easy to go, oh, you are such a bitch, you're a bitch. And it's easy for her to say, you arsehole. It's very easy. But in reality, what you're saying is you're acting like a bitch because you're not. You're just acting like one, but you're not. But I think where we get it wrong in words is we say you are. Oh, you bitch. No. You're acting like a bitch compared to you bitch. Because if I start going, you bitch, all of a sudden I'm wording and labeling you, and words carry so much power. They can carry life or death. The more I go, you bitch, you, I'm saying you are, compared to just that little adjustment in your words. Oh, you're acting like a. Because if you're acting like one, you can also stop acting like one, compared to you are a bitch. Or how do I change? No, you're a bitch. And I've seen changes in that just in wording in relationships.
So that's a really interesting one and quite charged for me because I'm not allowed to use the words at all, right? They're banned.
You're not allowed to use words.
Not allowed to
how do you communicate
I'm not
at home?
allowed to use that. Yeah. Interpretive
just
ban.
these.
No, I'm not allowed to label at all. So I can have a joke and be like,
when you say you're not allowed, you're saying there's
there is a boundary in my relationship of you do not say fuck off, you do not call me an asshole, you do not we don't use profanities inside of conflict. It's disrespectful. And I could not for the life of me wrap my head around it. I have been in severe domestic violence. I'm like, you're upset because I'm calling you an asshole? Like, I've had someone throw knives at me. Like, who cares? But it was like this respect thing for him. And it was like, I grew up in a household where there was an argument. We would get in the lounge room and bash the shit out of each other, right?
Jeez.
And if you want to surrender, if you you can go to the kitchen, but now you've surrendered. Now you lost the game. So it was I just grew up. My life has been chaos. So this and it's a normal reaction of protection for me to go asshole. I'm protecting myself. So that's what I'm in my worldview. That's what I'm doing. But he won't tolerate it at all because of the level of disrespect. And it's right?
I can appreciate that very much so.
So I can appreciate it. I understood it cognitively when he first requested that and set that boundary. And it took so much for me to get to the place where I didn't do it because it was a protection mechanism. And interestingly, what it ended up coming around to was yes, it's disrespectful, but in that moment, I didn't actually respect you anyway, because of the little boy coming out and having a tantrum and being dysregulated and not being present and grounded and being really, really reactive inside of that reactivity. I'm like, I'm no longer safe. I need to protect myself. Swords, all the worst swords I can find. And so it's actually finding safety that was allowed me to take those words away.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I like it. I think that's a very good thing.
Yeah. I think it's a really good thing too, but it's interesting how that had to play out inside of that. And it's when those things come up, and it's getting really nasty, if you can actually look at it from the lens of that person's trying to protect themselves and this person's trying to protect themselves, and the way that they're doing that is throwing the worst swords they possibly can to keep themselves safe. And it's okay, well then you're not feeling safe and I'm not feeling safe. So how do we get back to that?
We could just keep talking for hours, couldn't we? We did say this though, didn't we?
We did.
In all the conversations we've had in the past, we've just said we just need to hit record, and we've just done nearly 2.5 hours.
What's the time?
4:15.
Okay, well, I have a client in half an hour.
You better go. We better pick this up next time.
Okay, do we have anything else that we need to say?
Well, I had 20 questions. I didn't ask one. So,
okay, how's about this? Behind every polarity issue, masculine being not where it should be, feminine being not where it should be, is actually unmet needs, is actually childhood wounds, is actually protector parts showing up to protect themselves, is actually a nervous system that's shut down, and actually an identity that has collapsed.
I would 100% agree with all that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people don't know it though.
Yeah.
But I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Obviously, with all the work that I've done and things like this, I totally 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
Meaning, the more both men and women worked on themselves, you would bring a very new dynamic to the polarity in a relationship.
Yeah. So what people actually need is nervous system work. They need inner child work. They need to come back home to themselves.
Couldn't agree more, to be honest.
Yeah.
Do we close it there?
Close it there.
Wow. I'm going to say thanks for joining me, but you're going to say
Thanks
for joining me. That was an amazing collaboration, truly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Very welcome. Thank you.
That's really, really good. I hope you can get a lot of stuff out of this for your audience, and as much as we're going to get out of this for
sure
us here at Average Jokes.
This will be the most viral one ever.
Let's bring it. Well, thanks for joining me. Thanks for having us. Both.
Both.
Well, to my guys, hey, thanks for joining us here at the Men's Collective podcast. Get along to your AJ's meetup this week. Hannah, close it out.
Yeah. Well, as always, keep doing all the work.
Love it. Well, guys, thanks for joining us.